So I had a question about oil imports from Saudi Arabia and how that impacts our military presence there. And just so you know, the vast majority of our oil imports come from Canada. We import more oil from Canada than every other country combined. As far as Saudi Arabia, right now we're down to about 300,000 barrels a day. That is something that has been falling for many years. Now, the thing about importing oil from OPEC nations or from Saudi Arabia, it really doesn't matter how much we import. It doesn't matter if we don't import any oil at all from OPEC nations. Our military presence is still very much needed there, because the price of a barrel of oil is based on global supply and demand, and it doesn't even matter if we purchase any of that oil. If something were to happen in that region, if it were to become unstable and something were to happen, it would impact us directly and our oil prices directly, even if we don't get any oil from them. If some country decided to attack Saudi Arabia, our oil prices would go to levels we have never seen in history. I won't put a number on it because there's no way to know that, but it would easily, probably more than double the highest oil prices we've ever had. Yeah, easily. So at one time, we imported over 2 million barrels a day of oil from Saudi Arabia. That's not even registering on this chart because it was many years ago. But as you can see, for years, in the 90s and early 2000s, we were around 1.5 million barrels a day. And even under Barack Obama, we were well over 1 million barrels a day. First year of Donald Trump, well over 1 million barrels a day. And then in 2018, for most of the year, we stayed at 600,000-700,000 barrels a day until the end of the year, when he got OPEC to flood the market to lower oil prices. And then we started importing over 1 million barrels a day again from Saudi Arabia at the end of 2018. That stopped after about 5 months when Saudi Arabia had, figured out that they had been duped into increasing production. But once again, just looking at this, from over 2 million barrels a day, in the early 80s, late 70s, back down here to 2023, it varies month to month, but we're down to 356,000 barrels there on that last month. This report actually lags. You can find data on other websites where it's down to about 300,000 barrels on the latest updated reports. So it pretty much fell throughout the Trump administration, except for the brief period in 2018 when he got him to flood the market. After that, it started falling again. And that trend has pretty much consisted. It was obviously very low during COVID, but it's still falling. But the important point is, if that number goes to zero, we still have to have a military presence in that region. Nearly 40% of the world's oil comes out of there. And, just like the Panama Canal or the Suez Canal, or, very important areas around the globe where shipping occurs, all places like that are very sensitive, and we have to protect them. So I hope that answers your question. If not, just shoot me a message and let me know. Thanks.